Happy Earth Day, everyone! I'm Wolf from Healing Wolf Coaching, here to walk with you through the beautiful, magical, mysterious jungle of recovery. On my own recovery, the earth helped me so much. And even when I was unable to really walk yet, or sit yet, or do much in the world because my life became really small, really constricted by fear and pain, and the pain-fear loop where I would do a little more and it would hurt a lot more, and I would think, oh, I better rest, and go back and smaller and smaller and smaller to the point I was bedbound. But the earth was always there for me. She was always there. If I could get outside and get my hands in the dirt, then that healing energy would come up. Sometimes it was challenging to even get outside, but I had a kneeling pad, so I would get out and kneel and do things in the earth. I would work with plants. I would work with strawberry plants, or I would work with weeds. I would work with whatever was in front of me. I used to grow some kale and some purple broccoli, and so I'd work with those plants. And even if it was just 15-20 minutes of working with my hands in the earth, my knees on the ground, the fresh air coming through. And I remember I can hear hummingbirds, so I know the frequency of their wings and I can pick it up. And I remember there was a particularly dark part of my journey, very, very grim. Things were going it was very challenging. And so my mindset was negative a lot. And I was really hopeless, really had a lot of despair. And I remember one day I stepped outside and I heard that little whir of hummingbird wings. And the hummingbird just showed up for me and just hovered there. And as I watched the hummingbird, maybe you'll notice this on your own recovery journey. As I watched the hummingbird, there was no pain. There was just presence. And that's the power of nature, is that when you're really present, when you're really a part of nature instead of like this separate entity of ego, then that pain blends in to everything that's coming in as an experience. It's just a tiny part of that huge natural world of which you're a tiny part. And so it almost like dilutes it to the point where it's not there. So that was really powerful for me, and I knew things were going to turn around when I saw that hummingbird. And there was another day where I walked to the front door and there was a hummingbird there just hovering right at the door. So I took those as positive signs. You're going to have positive signs on your journey too. They may be probably going to be in nature. They may be in a book. They may be something you hear or see. Follow those signs. Another thing I used to do, an Earth Day recovery tip, was I would go outside, even on a rainy day, and lie down on a little thin tarp. It actually is a poncho that is meant to go over your head when it's raining, but I would lay it on the ground and lie down on the grass and just stare up into the sky. Sometimes I would allow my eyes to close and I would listen to the sounds of the birds. Sometimes there were crows, chickadees, wrens, all these beautiful sounds, the wind blowing in the Douglas fir trees, and my mind just relaxed. Lying on the ground instead of in a bed, think of how different that is. The bed felt like defeat. It felt like retreat. It felt like a state of illness, or a place that was dark, it was grim. How am I going to get out of here? Whereas when I was outside, I just felt at home. I felt like this is a natural place for me. I can stare up into the trees. the stuff that was coming into my senses made me feel really, really great, really connected to the earth. And there's a magnetic field in the earth too. So if you lie down on the ground, I did my thesis at New College in magnetobiology, so I studied this quite extensively. And there's a magnetic field in the ground. So if you're lying on the ground, you're getting that energy. And magnetic energy is healing. The researchers have been able to figure out that back when we actually evolved, or most of human history, the magnetic fields were more powerful, stronger. So that if people just got really close to the earth, walked in the earth, lie down on the earth, that those fields would activate and energize and heal. So magnets are used for all kinds of healing now, especially electromagnets. And the theory is that they draw blood, they draw the iron portion, the hemoglobin portion of the blood, and then they bring healing to an area. I actually have a magnet taped to my leg right now on a mysterious bite from some wonderful little critter in nature. It's going to heal right up, I know it. So nature on the recovery path, bring it in. Nature can be your best friend. We're all a part of nature. Whatever separation we have is just false separation. We really didn't evolve to live in these boxes. We didn't really evolve to have all this plastic stuff around and all this metal stuff around. We evolved in wood, in the woods, the dirt, rocks, soil, plants everywhere. We're breathing that in. So another thing I did on my recovery journey that was really wonderful was to go to the woods, like go out into the woods. And at the time, I had limitations that I believed. So these limitations were like, I thought I could only walk so far because the pain would increase to the point where it felt extremely intense, and I felt like I shouldn't push beyond that intensity. So I would go, and I later learned that I totally could, that I was fine. It wasn't hurting me at all. But at the time, I didn't yet have that insight or bravery to ride the big recovery responses back to the woods. So I would hike out Big Gulch Trail and bring that same poncho, orange poncho, and lie on the ground and stare up into the trees and just relax there and let the sounds bathe me. And I also on the journey went to see a doctor named Dr. Pontus Oberg, and he was in Seattle at the UW medicine there. And Dr. Pontus recommended that, he was a sports physiatrist, I believe. He recommended that I go into a float tank. I did that. But I'll tell you, the float tank was way less relaxing for me than lying down on the ground and forest bathing, as they call it in Japan. And in Japan, apparently, the doctors will write a prescription, forest bathing, 2 times a week or whatever it is. Like, get into nature, because they have an ancient civilization and society, and they know. I just heard something this morning. YouTube video popped up about how the only real blue zone is in Okinawa in Japan. That's the only real one. The others are just observational, and they're not really scientifically proven to be blue zones. Sometimes those other zones, they look like it, but who knows. So the Japanese have it right. Forest bathing. Go do some forest bathing, especially if you've been inside, especially if you feel like you can't do it. Forest bathe in a yard, in a friend's house, at your house, wherever you live. If you feel like it's not safe there for whatever reason, go to a park where it feels safe. Bring a friend. Lie down and just either close your eyes and listen to the sounds of nature, but definitely become aware of all of your senses. So you could open your eyes and stare up into the trees. You could close your eyes and listen to the wind blow through, or if there's a little creek rippling by, you can listen to that. And it's truly amazing. Another thing that's particularly helpful for anxiety or any kind of sensations that are causing agitation is to go out into nature and find a bug, whatever bug it is. Could be ants, could be watching butterflies, could be moths. The cool thing about nature is there's usually a bug, unless it's the whitest white of a snowy winter and everything is frozen, in which case I've actually seen spiders. I know there's some spiders that will run around on the snow, but usually if it's spring, like right now, the bugs are popping. When the heat comes up, they're popping. You might see them even in your home. And bugs running around. So get into that. Follow a bug. Watch a bug. Get into the mind of the bug. Get into the presence with it. Seems silly, right? There are a lot of silly things that'll heal the heck out of you. They'll heal you right up. Like laughter. A lot of people think that's silly, but laugh away. It's healthy. It's healing. So much science around that. So go outside and laugh with a bug. That's Wolf's recommendation of the day. I've also started a new Instagram channel called Laugh with Wolf, where you could see me laughing with some different folks. And I want that to just be inspiration to normalize it. Like normalize stuff like getting out into nature as a essential and integral part of our lives. It really helps us to stay centered and heal when we need to reconnect to who we are. And who we are is just a cell in the body of God, like we're a part of this magical universe, this earth, this living being of earth. So for Earth Day, that's my recommendation. There are other practices that you can do without and within that have an earthy feeling to them. As you learn to stalk a bug, for example, or to stalk an animal, you will learn how to relate to sensations. And the sensations of persistent pain or anxiety, you can relate to them in the same way as you might relate to a little rabbit. There's some bunnies that live outside here, outside of my rental here, and they hop around. And those bunnies, if you run at them, move towards them, they run away. So what does that tell you about a relationship with anxiety or chronic pain? If that bunny was chronic pain and you move towards it, it moves away. So there's all kinds of hidden lessons in nature, and the lessons will come clear to you as you get out in it and you sit in silence. Or if you can't sit, lie down. If you can't lie down, walk. Whatever you can do to put yourself into that space. Even if you're looking out a window of a hospital. Some folks come to me from that space where they're at the bottom and they need to launch off the bottom, and it might be that you can look out a window and watch a bird, and that's good too. Like, just find a way, some way, to bring that nature in. Nature, for me, on my recovery journey, was way more powerful than any of the physician interventions. And isn't that interesting? That nature was the bigger healer, the better healer for me. The doctors could give you some drugs and some procedures, but they can't give you all of the things that come to you in nature from the earth. And it's all available. When you're breathing in and you're in the woods, you're breathing in all these healing compounds. You don't even need to know what they're called. They still work. And that's the beauty of it. You can put your hands on a tree and feel it. I actually have a song from the Winterlings called "I'm Like a Tree." And it's a beautiful song to me. And it says, I'm like a tree. All the lyrics, the chorus, I'm like a tree, all that I need comes to me. Stand by my side, hands in the sky. Feel the earth give. Feel the earth give. So you can go check that out on any streaming service you have, or even YouTube. It's called I'm Like a Tree by the Winterlings. If you'd like some one-on-one help, head over to healingwolfcoaching.com, sign up for a consult call. I don't have a lot of those available each week, but the system sets it up so you can get one. And then you can come and talk to me about what's been happening for you. And we can strategize, find the best way forward together. Every client is different. Clients need different things at different stages. But we all need nature. We all need the earth. So let's love the earth today. Love the earth together. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of my mission to help people out of hell. Please subscribe and give me a thumbs up and a heart and all that kind of thing. And comment. Please comment. Give Wolf a comment. Let me know how you honored yourself in nature on Earth Day. How you and nature merged again as we evolved, as we are meant to be, as this beautiful, magnificent entity. And we're all a part of it. So that's why we are all coming together and working together. And we're all healing together. So I love you. Happy Earth Day again. I'll see you in the next video.